don't know, I think we've waited long enough for this one. Comic book characters you may or may not know about. This one is my absolute number one favorite Marvel character in the entirety of the Marvel Universe, Shang-Chi. Okay, so for those who don't know, Shang-Chi is known as the Master of Kung Fu. He was born in the Hunan province of China. His father is Fu Manchu, and his mother is a white American who was genetically selected by Fu Manchu to birth his children. Since he was an infant, basically, he was raised and trained in the martial arts by his father and his tutors. Believing his father to be a humanitarian, he went on a mission to London to kill a doctor named Petrie, who his father said was evil and basically deserved to die. After successfully assassinating Dr. Petrie, he ran into his father's arch enemy. So Fu Manchu's arch enemy's name is Sir Dennis Nayland Smith, who revealed to Shang-Chi Fu Manchu's true nature. He went and confronted his mother in New York City about the truth and realized that his father was evil. So making his way past the Sifan assassins in the Manhattan headquarters, he basically vowed to stop his father and all of his evil plans and ended up fighting his adoptive brother, Midnight Sun. He was then apprehended by MI6 agent Jack Black Tar, who was sent by Fu Manchu's arch enemy, Sir Dennis Nayland Smith, so that Shang-Chi wouldn't get killed. Y'all, these are a lot of names, and I know I'm saying shit wrong. Anyway, after a lot of encounters, Shang-Chi became an ally, a trusted ally of MI6 and Sir Dennis Nayland Smith. Eventually, it became a team-up of Smith, Jack Black Tar, and two other MI6 agents, Clive Reston and Leiko Wu, as well as Shang-Chi, who would go on many missions and adventures together, thwarting Fu Manchu's plans for world domination. Oh, and Dr. Petrie also ended up on this team because he was revealed to be alive. He also occasionally bumped into his half-sister, Fa Lo Suye, and I feel like I'm saying her name wrong. If I am, I apologize. Who ran her own faction of the Sifan and was trying to usurp the, basically, empire from her father, and Shang-Chi didn't want to have anything to do with it. So with the team I mentioned earlier, he started Freelance Restorations, which was an independent spy agency that was based in Stormhaven Castle, Scotland. After many skirmishes and battles, he witnessed the death of his father and ended up quitting the agency. Here he returns to help Wu, Reston, and Tar fight against Argus's terroristic group, which was formed to cause the United States to act more aggressively towards terrorists. Information, Argus had Wu tortured and cut off her hand until she was saved by Shang-Chi. But Shang-Chi ended up getting poisoned with a slow-acting poison, and before the poison was able to kill him, he was saved by his father's elixir vitae. Joining back up with his friends who had rejoined MI6, they fight against Fu Manchu and Moving Shadow, who was revealed to be Shang-Chi's half-brother, or one of them. The mission was a success, and Fu Manchu's Hellfire weapon was destroyed, but Moving Shadow was killed by Fu Manchu for failing to kill Shang-Chi. And went on to join the newly restored Heroes for Hire. Heroes for Hire, Humbug tried to turn on his friends as well as the Earth Hive by offering up Colleen Wing and Tarantula. As he lay dying, Humbug asked for his friend to mercy kill him, but Shang-Chi refused to do so. He finds out that Humbug had absolutely no issue with Tarantula being tortured as long as Colleen Wing wasn't tortured. He ended up snapping his neck and killing him and saving Tarantula and feeling bad about it, and just felt like he was a soulless murderer. While he was working with MI6, he collaborated with Pete Wisdom from MI13, and they went up against the Welsh Dragon, who had become an amnesiac as well as a human crime lord. He then became the tutor to Earth 616 Killraven. During the Shadowland storyline, he's one of the heroes fighting against the Hand Ninjas. He then helps Spider-Man fight against Mr. Negative and temporarily takes Mr. Negative's powers until he's restored to normal by Spider-Man. During the Secret Avengers storyline, he was tracked down by Steve Rogers, who needed his help turning back the Shadow Council, who was partially resurrected by Fu Manchu. And at this point, Fu Manchu is dead. He died sometime after their last encounter, but not before he partially resurrected the Shadow Council and sent the High Dai to hunt Shang-Chi down. Beast revealed to Shang-Chi, as well as the Secret Avengers, that Fu Manchu was simply an alias for a sorcerer named Zhang Zhu, who had gained immortality by taking his brother's life essence. Later on, Steve Rogers and Shang-Chi meet with John Steele and the Shadow Council for a prisoner exchange of Sharon Carter. Steve Rogers is overpowered by John Steele, and Shang-Chi is captured. As Zhang Zhu prepares to sacrifice Shang-Chi to complete his resurrection, the Avengers and Moon Knight drop in on him and the Shadow Council. The Prince of Orphans disrupts the ritual, which causes Zhang Zhu's permanent death, Shang-Chi's rescue. Shang-Chi joins the Secret Avengers, and once they defeat Arnim Zola 4.2.3, he leaves. So, per the instructions of the new Madam Web, Shang-Chi is training Spider-Man in Kung Fu to compensate for his recent loss of his spider senses. With his tutelage, Spider-Man develops his own martial arts style called Way of the Spider. During the events of Spider Island, Shang-Chi is one of the many inhabitants of Manhattan that is infected with the spider virus and given the same powers and abilities as Spider-Man. While the people who do have the abilities of Spider-Man are running amok in the city, the Bride of Nine Spiders is kidnapping her teammates of the immortal weapons. Shang-Chi attempts to stop the Bride of Nine Spiders from kidnapping Iron Fist, but he is unsuccessful. However, he does learn from Silver Sable that she has possibly found Bride of Nine Spiders' lair. Even though he manages to defeat the Bride of Nine Spiders, he finds out that the person behind the entire thing is the demon god Iepic. Shang-Chi fights Iepic, and Iron Fist goes to free the other immortal weapons. During the fight, Shang-Chi turns into a giant spider, and he is cured by Iron Fist. And once the immortal weapons are evacuated from the building, Shang-Chi brings the entire building down on Iepic, who is then arrested by the Avengers again. After that, he joins his friends and a lot of the other heroes in their final fight against the Spider Queen. During the Marvel Now relaunch, Shang-Chi is part of the Avengers after being recruited by Iron Man and Captain America. During the events of Infinity, Shang-Chi and the Avengers join the Galactic Council in their fight against the Builders to stop their crusade on all life in the universe. He forms a team with Black Widow, Manifold, and Spider-Woman, and is sporting some energy projecting gauntlets. After defeating the Builders, they return back to Earth with their Galactic Council allies and basically tell Thanos to square up. After defeating the Builders and Thanos, Shang-Chi is sent to Madripoor with Wolverine, Falcon, and Black Widow to stop an entire island nation scaled riot that's broken out. Shang-Chi infiltrates a temple housed by the Hands, but he's too late to stop the new leader Gorgon from raising the entire island up on the head of a dragon. He's defeated by Gorgon and thrown off the dragon's head, but is saved by the Chinese intelligence gathering agency called Spear and taken to their airbound base called Circle to recuperate. Shang-Chi, Spear's response team, the Ascendants, and the Avengers all go to Shanghai to defend the city from the dragon in hand. Using Pym particles provided to him by Spear, Shang-Chi grows to the size of a giant and defeats the dragon in combat. During the Time Runs Out storyline, Shang-Chi is part of Sunspot's Avengers, and he is sent to an incursion spot in Japan and is hit with cosmic level radiation, causing him to mutate and develop the ability to duplicate himself. At one point, he is informed by Captain America that Leiko Wu has been murdered by Razor Fist while she was on a mission for MI6. He travels to London for Leiko's funeral and is attacked by unknown assailants while wandering around Chinatown. They reveal that she was killed by a crime lord named White Dragon for her involvement with another crime lord called Skull Crusher. He ends up forming a truce with Skull Crusher, and they end up working with the Daughters of the Dragon and Sons of the Tiger. With everybody's help, they find out that White Dragon has access to Mao Shan Pai, which is very powerful Chinese black magic. They enter his estate and come across a room that displays the decapitated heads of missing triad leaders. The two of them fight White Dragon, but are captured by Midnight Sun, who reveals that he is the mastermind behind White Dragon and plans on using the spellbook to fulfill Zhang Zu's legacy. Needing the heads of the clan leaders in order to cast the spell, he beheads White Dragon and Skullcrusher and proceeds to cast the spell. However, instead of giving him the power that he was looking for, it resurrects Leiko Wu from Skullcrusher's blood, because he made her the leader of the clan before she died, and him being killed to cast the spell violated the ritual, and instead resurrected her to punish Midnight Sun. Shang-Chi manages to knock out Midnight Sun, and Leiko, with her newfound abilities, resurrects the spirits of Skullcrusher, the other Triad leaders, and White Dragon to drag Midnight Sun to the realm. She tries to kill Razorfist, but Shang-Chi begs her not to, and while she does spare him, she's not able to come back to her normal self. Jack Black Tar, who is now the leader of MI6, raids the estate and arrests all of the bad guys, except for Leiko, who manages to escape. Later on, he ends up becoming part of a team called the Protectors when he and other Asian American superheroes such as Amadeus Cho, who is the Hulk, Jimmy Woo, Miss Marvel, Silk, and S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Jack O go to a fundraiser in Flushing, Queens. They are then kidnapped by aliens and then saved by Alpha Flight and brought back to Earth. During the Secret Empire storyline, it is seen that he is a prisoner of Hydra in Madripoor, and then it's later seen that he's fighting Hydra's forces in Washington, D.C. During a storyline that involved Domino, she approached Shang-Chi for training on the recommendation of Amadeus Cho so that she could defeat her ability-stealing enemy, Topaz. After their training session, they go out for a romantic night in Hong Kong and are attacked by Shang-Chi's enemies. This long list of enemies included Midnight Sun, Death Hand, Shadow Stalker, Tiger Claw, Razor Fist, and Shin Kuei. And they defeat them relatively easily, and then they are approached by Topaz. Domino goes up against Topaz and defeats her, and then kills her, despite Shang-Chi begging her not to. So he breaks up with her and dismisses her as a student. We also see Shang-Chi as part of the Agents of Atlas along with the Protectors, and they are fighting in the War of the Realms storyline, and that's when they team up with Swordmaster, Arrow, and Wave. After the War of the Realms storyline, we get into the new Agents of Atlas, where he's trying to help Swordmaster find his father and who's trying to take the sword. So the reason Ares was trying to take the sword from Swordmaster is because he was trying to use it to see who had kidnapped his son. And then we find out that Jimmy Woo is working with somebody who has created Pan-Asia, basically, where it's a bunch of portals that connect all of Asia, and for 24 hours only, you can get to whatever city in Asia just by stepping through a portal. So we find out that Ares' son is Mineas, was kidnapped or taken prisoner by the mother goddess of Madripoor after she took him from Namor because he was trying to steal Atlantis' gold and was caught by Namor, but she persuaded Namor to let her keep him prisoner. And then all of this leads into the Atlantis Attacks storyline, which is basically caused by Jimmy Woo and his associates. So basically what's keeping the Pan portal open is the energy from this dragon that belongs to Namor, which was taken by this associate of Jimmy Woo. And so basically Atlantis is attacking because he wants his dragon back. They give the dragon back, and the dragon starts attacking Atlantis, and everybody's trying to figure out why. Amadeus Cho is forcibly turned into the Hulk and put under this guy's evil control. They figure out that something implanted in the dragon scales was controlling the dragon, and they get that destroyed, and Amadeus Cho is saved from being under this guy's control. And after all of this happens, Shang-Chi is not really part of the Agents of Atlas as much as he would like to be, because he has a falling out, of course, with Jimmy Woo for Jimmy using the team the way that he did. During the brothers and sisters storyline, he becomes the leader of the criminal empire, even though he really didn't want to, but he becomes the leader so that he can change them from being a criminal empire to just, helping people where they needed to be helped. And he just joins forces with his brothers and sisters to change how Fu Manchu had everything set up. During the Enter the Phoenix storyline, he is a contender for the Phoenix Force. He wins his first match against Hyperion, and then he is pitted up against Captain America. And before he lands his final blow on Captain America, he says he's going to vow to never use his power to kill anybody, and the Phoenix Force disqualifies him from the tournament, giving Captain America the win. It's never really been said how extensive his fighting skills are, but he is referred to as the greatest empty-handed fighter and practitioner of Kung Fu alive. It was also stated by Ares that Shang-Chi is one of the few mortals who is able to stand toe-to-toe with a god without the use of magic. He's also able to dodge and catch bullets from machine guns and sniper rifles, as well as deflect them. And while he doesn't actually have any powers, he has gained several abilities over his time, like the ability to duplicate himself, turn people to stone. That's an alternate universe, battle world, in the Secret Wars storyline, or Secret Avengers storyline, one of them. And using the Pym particles, he was able to go toe-to-toe with the dragon because he was giant size. And that is Shang-Chi. And his movie does come out this year, so everybody should go watch it.